All right, for 8.5, we're going to start factoring, and you're going to see factoring is going to be the opposite of when we distributed or multiplied, or when we FOILed out, which is the same as multiplying. So it's kind of the opposite of multiplying polynomials. Now here's the main thing. I'm only going to go over this 1, 2, and 3. These ones where it has find the GCF of numbers. Here's the main rule. Whenever it tells you have to factor, you always want to find this first, the GCF. Okay, GCF, as probably many of you know, GCF stands for greatest common factor. Now, factor means that they're all the numbers that go into evenly a certain number. So I'm actually going to list this like this 12, all my factors for 12, I'm going to list it up here. Okay, I'm going to list them as pairs. And I always like putting 1 and the number itself. I know 1 times 12 is 12. So therefore 1 and 12 are factors of 12. I know 2 goes into it because 12 is even. So 2 times 6 gives me 12. So 2 and 6 are factors of 12. And 3 goes into 12 4 times. So 3 and 4 are factors of 12. I know 5 doesn't go into it. These are all my factors of 12. 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, and 4. Okay, then I have this 9. All right, right there. I'm going to list all my factors for 9. So I'm going to start with 1 and 9. Then the only all the numbers that go into 9 are 3. 3 times 3 is 9, so I'm going to put 3 times 3. Okay, then I'm going to list this, the 6. Let's list all the factors. So I know I have 1 times 6 is 6. Then the only other factors are 2 and 3. Then I'm going to circle all the common numbers. Well, 1's everything. 1 goes into everything. That's really not going to help us. Let's see, what else goes into it? 3 goes into everything. And that's it. 6 goes into 12 and 6, but 6 does not go into 9. So therefore 3, this is the biggest common number. That's the GCF. So we're going to say the GCF for this is 3. Now I'll say this, doing common factor and really doing anything with factoring, if you guys are very good at mental math, if you're very good at your times tables, you probably don't have to do this whole thing that I did. You probably can just get that using mental math. If that's your case and you're very good at it, then don't make up, the charts of all the factors. Just list what the GCF is. Okay, number 2, you have 32, 8, and 12. I'm going to put an alternate method to get the whoops. Let's see here. I'm going to get rid of. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to show you a different method. This we call the cake method. If you don't like listing the factors out, some students like this. I'm going to list 32, 8, and 12. And when I ask myself, all right, what's a number that goes into all 3? Well, I see that they're even, so I know 2 goes into all of them. 2 goes into 32 16 times. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 12 6 times. Now, I'm going to keep building layers on this cake if there's common numbers that go into all 3. So then I ask myself, out of 16, 4, and 6, is there a common number that goes into them? Well, same thing, they're all even, so 2 goes into them. 2 goes into 16 8 times, 2 goes into 4 twice, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. Now, 8, 2, and 3, there's no common number other than 1 that goes into each of these. So we're done building the layers of the cake. To get the GCF, every number to the left, which is this 2 and this 2, to get the GCF, you just multiply these. So 2 times 2, that gives us 4. Now, some of you might have been able to say, oh, well, 32, 8, and 12, the biggest number that goes into it is 4. And again, if that's you, if you're good with mental math, then just do that. Number 3, that should be one you get right away. 25, 10, and 15. Really, the only common number that goes into it is 5, because they end in a 5 and a 0. So we'll just say that's the mental math way, so it's 5. So we did one of each. One where we listed all the factors for number 1. Number 2, we did the cake method. Number 3, we just used mental math, but we're finding the greatest common factor.